My name is Monica. I come from a small and quiet town. In my town, everyone knows each other. Life there is simple and calm. But deep inside, I always had a big dream. I wanted to learn English and travel the world. I believed that English could open many doors. If I could speak English, I could talk to people from many countries. I could study more, understand more, and grow more. That's why I made a big decision. I wanted to go to France to study and learn English. When I told my parents about my plan, they were surprised. My mother looked at me with worried eyes. She said, "Monica, France is very far. You will be alone. Are you sure you want to do this?" I took a deep breath and said, "Yes, Mom, I am ready. I want to do this for my future." My father stayed quiet for a moment. Then he smiled and said, "Okay, Monica, we believe in you. Go and do your best." That night I could not sleep. I was nervous. I was excited. I thought about my town, my family, and my small room. I was leaving it all behind. But I also thought about the new things waiting for me. I knew it was not going to be easy, but I was ready to try. The day I left, my mother hugged me tightly. She cried and said, "Take care of yourself." My little brother looked sad and quiet. I gave him a big hug. I wanted to be strong, but I felt tears in my eyes too. It was not easy to say goodbye. But I knew I had to go. On the airplane, everything felt new. The seats, the sounds, the people. It was my first time flying. I sat by the window and watched the clouds. I kept thinking, this is really happening. A kind woman sat next to me. She smiled and asked, "Is this your first trip alone?" I nodded. She said, "You're brave. If you need help, just ask me." Her words made me feel better. The flight was long, but I couldn't sleep. My heart was full of thoughts about my new life in France. When I arrived, I looked around. Everything was different: the streets, the buildings, the language. I took a taxi to my new apartment. I was tired. I dropped my bags and shoes on the floor. I thought I was alone. But then, I heard a voice. "Hi. You must be Monica." I turned and saw a smiling girl. Her name was Sarah. She was my roommate. Sarah had warm eyes and a happy voice. She laughed and said, "Welcome. Just one thing, we keep things clean here." I felt a little shy but laughed too. Sarah was friendly. She showed me where to shop, how to take the bus, and how things worked in France. She made me feel less alone. That night, I sat on my bed and thought about my first day. I was tired, but my heart was full. I opened a small notebook and started writing in English, just a few lines. I wrote, "Today, I arrived in France. I met Sarah. She is nice. I feel happy and scared." It was my first English journal. I wanted to write in English every day. It was my way to practice and remember. The next morning, I woke up to the sound of cars and people outside. It was a new place, but it was real. I was really here. My dream had started. I didn't know everything yet. I didn't speak English fluently. I didn't know what tomorrow would bring. But I had taken the first step. I left home. I faced my fear. And that was the hardest part. I looked out of the window and whispered to myself, "You can do this, Monica." I didn't know how long it would take. But I knew one thing. I would not give up. I was ready to try, to learn, and to grow one word, one day, one step at a time. Life in France was not easy. Everything was new. The language was different. The food was different. Even the way people walked and talked was different. I missed my family every day. I missed my mom's cooking, my dad's jokes, and even my little dog. But I kept telling myself, "You came here to learn. Don't give up." I needed money to pay for my food and school. So I looked for a part-time job. After a few days, I found a job at a small cafe near my apartment. My job was to serve drinks, clean tables, and smile at customers. It was not easy. I didn't speak French well, and I was afraid to speak English in public. I didn't want people to laugh at me. I felt shy and nervous. But I knew I had to try. At the cafe, I met many friendly people. One older man, Mr. Pierre, came every morning. He always ordered the same drink and sat near the window. He noticed that I was trying to speak English. One day he said, "Listen carefully to people when they speak. That is how you learn." His words stayed in my heart. I began to listen more and worry less. Each day at work, I tried to use a few English words. At first, I made many mistakes. I forgot words. I said the wrong things. Sometimes, I even repeated myself because I was so nervous. But something amazing happened. People didn't laugh. In fact, many smiled and helped me. They were kind and patient. Slowly, I became more confident. My roommate Sarah was also a big help. One Friday, she said, "Let's do something fun. Today, we will only speak English all day." I laughed and said, "Okay, but only if you help me." That became our new habit. Every Friday was English only day. It was hard, but it was also very fun. We laughed a lot and learned even more. Then, I started my English class at the university. Our teacher, Mrs. Taylor, was kind and full of energy. She said, "Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Just speak. Speak from your heart." Her words gave me courage. In class, we played games, acted in small plays, and sang English songs. One day, we had a fun activity. We had to pretend we were in an American diner. I said, "Can I have a burger and fries?" And everyone clapped. It felt like real life and I felt proud. Mrs. Taylor had a wonderful idea. Every day, she gave us one new word to learn. She called it Word of the Day. One day, the word was delightful. She said, "This means something that makes you feel happy. For example, this cake is delightful." Then she asked us to use it in our own sentence. I said, "My English class is delightful." Everyone smiled, and I felt happy. Sarah and I created a small routine at home. Every night, we talked about our day in English. We helped each other with new words. Sometimes, we even made small flashcards and played games with them. One day, I told Sarah, "Let's try something different. I will teach you some Vietnamese words." She was excited. I said simple words like hello and thank you. She loved it. Teaching her helped me understand how learning feels on the other side. I also joined a small study group at school. My classmates were from Brazil, Korea, and Turkey. We met once a week. We shared snacks and helped each other with English. We spoke slowly, corrected each other gently, and sometimes laughed at funny mistakes. It felt like a small family. One of my biggest moments was when I read my first English book. It was a children's story about a cat. I read it slowly, but I understood it. I didn't need a dictionary for every word. When I finished the book, I felt proud. I looked at the last page and whispered, "I did it." It was just one book, but it felt like a mountain I had climbed. Every new word I learned, every sentence I spoke was a small victory. It wasn't always easy. I still made mistakes. But I didn't stop. I didn't let fear win. And day by day, my English got better. Time passed, and my English got better. I could understand people more. I could answer questions and have small conversations. I still made mistakes, but I didn't feel so scared anymore. One day, something strange and exciting happened. I had a dream. In my dream, I was speaking English with my mom. When I woke up, I smiled. I thought, wow, English is really becoming a part of me. In class, Mrs. Taylor gave us many fun activities. One day, she surprised us with a big smile. Today, she said, we will have an English carnival. We all wore funny hats and picked silly characters. I was a baker who forgot how to bake a cake. I had to say, wait, do I need flowers or flour? Everyone laughed, and so did I. It was silly, but I learned so much. I didn't feel nervous when I spoke English during the game. I just had fun. Mrs. Taylor gave us English journals too. She called them English adventure journals. She said, Write your goals, your favorite new words, your memories, your mistakes, everything. I wrote in it every week. It helped me see how far I had come. My birthday came a few weeks later. I didn't expect anything. But in class, my friends surprised me. They sang happy birthday in English and gave me small birthday wishes. One classmate wrote, "You are like sunshine." Another said, "You make English class fun." I felt so happy. I smiled, I laughed, and I cried a little. I felt like I had a second family in France. Sarah also made me a special gift. She created a video of my English journey. It had pictures of my first day, my journal, and clips of me speaking English. At the end, she said, "Monica, you are not just fluent in English, you are fluent in courage." Her words touched my heart. After that, I had a new idea. I wanted to help others learn English too, so I started making small videos. In each video, I shared one word or one short story in English. For example, I said, "Hello, I'm Monica. Today's word is hope. I hope you never give up." I posted my videos online. Some people watched and said thank you. That made me feel proud and happy. Mrs. Taylor also gave us more tips. She said, "Real English is not perfect. It is friendly, fast, and full of small phrases. Don't speak like a textbook. Speak like a person." She taught us phrases like "what's up," "no problem," and "see you later." I started using them at work, and with Sarah, I began to sound more natural. I started to feel more like myself, just in another language. She also said, "Practice outside of class. Speak English with your friends, join a language group, talk even if it's hard." So I joined a small English group that met every Friday. At first, we were all shy, but soon we became friends. We shared stories, dreams, and jokes all in English. It was fun and real. English slowly became part of my daily life. I didn't need to think too much. I just spoke. I still made mistakes, but I was okay with that. I knew mistakes helped me grow. Then came our last class with Mrs. Taylor. She gave each of us a small book and said, "This is not the end. This is your beginning. Keep learning. Keep speaking. And always speak from your heart." We all hugged her. Some of us cried. On my last night in France, I walked around the city alone. The lights were soft. The air was calm. I thought about everything, my fear on the first day, my first job, my English class, my friends. I had come so far. I felt proud of who I had become. When I returned home, my mom hugged me and said, "Welcome home, Monica." I smiled and said, "I missed you so much." I said it in English, and this time I wasn't afraid. I had learned a language. But more than that, I had found my strength, my voice, and my joy. Fluency is not just about words. It is about believing in yourself and never giving up. Monica's story is a story of courage, hope, and hard work. She started as a girl from a small town with a big dream. She didn't speak English well. She had never been on a plane. She had never lived far from home. But she believed in her dream. She wanted to learn English and grow as a person. So, she took the first step. That step was not easy, but it changed her life. In France, Monica felt lost at first. Everything was different. The language, the people, the food, the streets. She missed home. She felt scared and lonely, but she didn't give up. She found a friend in Sarah who helped her every day. She found kind people at work who encouraged her to speak. And she found a great teacher, Mrs. Taylor, who taught her that it's okay to make mistakes. What matters most is trying, speaking from the heart, and enjoying the journey. Little by little, Monica's English improved. She practiced in class, at work, at home, and even in her dreams. She laughed, made mistakes, and kept learning. She learned not just grammar and vocabulary, but also how to express herself, how to connect with others, and how to believe in herself. By the end of her journey, Monica could speak English clearly. She even made videos to help others. She returned home not only as someone who could speak another language, but as someone who had become stronger, wiser, and more confident. Her dream had come true, not because she was perfect, but because she kept going. So, what is the lesson from Monica's story? The lesson is simple. Don't be afraid to start. Don't wait to feel ready. You learn by doing, by trying, and by not giving up. Every small step is important. Every word you speak is progress. And every mistake is part of learning. Now it's your turn. You listen to Monica's journey. That means you're also learning and growing. Be proud of yourself. If you enjoyed this story and it helped you practice English, please subscribe to our channel for more stories and learning videos. And if you want to support our work, please consider donating. We make this content for free to help you learn English with love and care. Your support helps us keep going. Thank you for being here. Keep learning, keep dreaming, and never give up.